This demo will show you how to install, deploy, and use Azure Container Storage. First, make sure you understand what storage driver is suited for your situation. Azure's CSI drivers bring Kubernetes support for most Azure disks, files, and blob offerings. Azure Container Storage brings Kubernetes support for unique storage backends that are unsupported by the Azure Disks CSI driver. Currently, Azure Container Storage only supports local NVMe disks. You'll need to ensure that the VMs in your Kubernetes actually have local NVMe disks. For example, pick storage-optimized L-series VMs or the GPU-accelerated VMs. Let's show you how to install Azure Container Storage. First, we'll show you how to install Azure Container Storage via the AKS extension. Make sure you're using the latest version of the Azure CLI, have the Kubernetes extension for the Azure CLI installed, and the Kubernetes command line client kubectl. If you're creating a new AKS cluster from scratch, you can use the flag Enable Azure Container Storage when you specify the flags in your AKS create command. If you're updating an already existing AKS cluster, you can use a similar command with the same flag. After a few minutes, you'll have Azure Container Storage installed. If you want to install the open source version of Azure Container Storage, visit the local CSI driver GitHub page and find the latest release version. You can install local CSI driver via Helm. Be sure to replace the version option with the latest release version you find online. After a few minutes, you'll have local CSI driver installed. Now let's connect to our cluster using the AKS get credentials command. Let's show you how to use Azure Container Storage for your Kubernetes cluster. Now that Azure Container Storage is installed, let's set it up to use local NVMe disks. Local NVMe gives super fast performance, perfect for apps that need quick temporary storage. Remember, this data won't last if the VM stops or is deleted. Azure Container Storage automatically stripes data across all NVMe disks in a given node for best performance. Let's start by creating a storage class. Open your terminal or editor and create a YAML file. Apply it to your cluster. Then check that it was created. Next, let's deploy a pod using that storage. This pod will use an ephemeral volume that exists only while the pod is running. Once deployed, we'll verify that it's running. Then we'll run a short performance test using FIO. Now let's look at using persistent volumes with ephemeral storage. This approach is great if your app expects a persistent volume claim but still uses local temporary storage. We'll deploy a stateful set, so each replica gets its own NVMe-backed volume. For the latest sample code, please visit our documentation. Once applied, you'll see the pods come up, each with high-speed local storage. You've now seen how to configure, deploy, and manage Azure Container Storage with local NVMe disks. Your workloads now have lightning-fast storage, ideal for temporary or high-performance needs. For more info, visit the Azure Container Storage documentation on Microsoft Learn.